Hi, this is Brad Smith from BeerSmith.com, and in this video I'm going to quickly demonstrate the Brewday Timer features of BeerSmith Mobile. We're going to start by clicking on the My Recipes folder. We're going to open up our wit recipe that we created earlier, and all we have to do is click on the timer feature to get the Brewday Timer. Now it's set up to do the boil. If I want to do the mash, I just click on the mash section. If I want to do the boil, I click on the boil section. Now let's start with a mash, and all I have to do is click on the go to start the timer. You can see that it's counting down both the total time elapsed and also the time to the next step. So it'll actually show me step by step in this section how to complete the mash, and it'll play timers as we get to each step. If I pause that, I can go and switch over to the boil timer once I'm done with the mash, and it'll do the same thing. It'll show me, for example, at 55 minutes, I need to add some coriander seed and some orange peel to the boil. And it'll actually play an alarm when I get there. In fact, if I click on the home button, you can see at the very top here, it's got the running timer. And at any time that I'm using the tool, let's say I'm off looking at another recipe, I go back home, click on the large yellow bar here, and it'll bring up the recipe that's being timed. So I've got the mash and the boil timer here, and those will play alarms and show me, indicate when it's time to add a new ingredient. Going down farther, if you look towards the bottom, I also have all my brewing estimates, fermentation estimates, and bottle and aging estimates. So I can use that as a brewing reference when I'm actually brewing the beer to see if my volumes match up, for example, if the gravities match up, if I take gravity measurements, and so on. The next feature I want to show you is the brewing session data here. If I click on that, you can see that it'll show me not only areas where I can enter various things, like if I want to measure my mash pH or my actual sparge temperature, I can enter that in there. But again, it'll show me actuals versus measured. So for example, it estimated that my pre-boil volume is 7.24 gallons. And then when I actually measure that volume, I can put it in here. And let's say I measured out at 7 gallons, for example. I can enter that in. I go to the next field, enter my pre-boil gravity, and compare it to what the estimate is, and so on all the way down. And once I've entered all my data, I just save it, and I go back to the timer, and now that's saved as part of that recipe, so it's easily accessible. I'm going to pause the timer now and go back out. And now I'm going to show you really quickly, you can also transfer recipes from your cloud folder. So if you're using BeerSmith Desktop, you can drop a recipe in your cloud folder. It'll show up here using your BeerSmithRecipes.com account. And I can open it up here, and I can actually run the timer and do the edit directly from here. So I can start the timer, for example, for a recipe that's in my cloud folder, and I can track all that information from here. So you have the ability to both work with local recipes as well as recipes in your cloud folder on BeerSmith. And of course, those cloud folder recipes, will be directly accessible from your desktop. So for example, if you enter record data on your mobile version, it'll automatically get saved to that cloud folder and be accessible from your desktop version as well. Thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to learn more about BeerSmith Desktop or BeerSmith Mobile, please visit my website at BeerSmith.com.